This is Future Talk.
Future Talk.
Future Talk with Omnia Saleh and Hani Balkis.
Happy Tuesday, everyone, and good afternoon. You're listening to Future Talk right here on Pulse 95. This is the one and only place where we give you a quick roundup of everything that is happening in the tech world, in the UAE, and all around the world. Hope you're all having a blessed afternoon and enjoying the back-to-school week. We've got lots in store for all of you as we discuss the latest developments with the UAE in outer space, because we've got news about the first Emirati astronaut, Hazza al-Mansouri, is making headlines again as he reunites with a crew from the historic space mission in Dubai.
Yes, and we're also talking about Elon Musk, and a lot of people are questioning Elon Musk whether or not he is an alien. And we're about to tell you what the tech billionaire did say in regards to that.
Yes, indeed. In the world of gadgets, lots is happening as well as we talk about one phone that's going to help us disconnect from tech. This phone is going to be debuting in November, and it's, well, a lot of researchers have been saying it's a minimalist phone, but I feel like it gives me a lot of Nokia flashbacks. The old Nokia phones that kind of were like invincible.
Yeah, I mean, we do know that a lot of people are trying to be more, minimalists and not use their phone as often. But you know what people are not going to be doing as often in China? Playing games. We know the saying, work hard, play harder. But in China, it's work harder, play none. Because kids in China are now restricted to just 3 hours of online gaming per week.
I remember when back to school hit, a lot of kids, including myself, we were so annoyed because, that meant online gaming had to basically become a lot less hours in a day. And now in China, this is being reduced a bit too much. In the world of weird tech, we're going to be talking all about experiencing a spacewalk without necessarily being in outer space. Virtual reality is making that a reality, and we're going to tell you exactly how.
Yes, you know what we're trying to do? We're trying to do whatever it takes to experience space.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the first UAE astronaut to reunite with crew from the historic space mission right here in Dubai. Now, the first Emirati in space will reunite with the crew from his historic flight as a conference in Dubai in October. And we're talking about Major Hazza al-Mansouri and the crew from Expedition 61 will be together once again at the International Astronautical Congress at Dubai World Trade Center, which will be from the 25th of October to the 29th.
Yes, indeed. And this event is actually going to be celebrating the achievements of the Expedition 61 crew. We're talking about astronauts from 4 different countries. They're all going to be part of the mission, and we are talking about 4 different space agencies that have actually been collaborating in this event. Now, I'm actually excited to see how Major Astronaut Hazza al-Mansouri kind of reminisces on his space crew and the space mission that he was on. I actually saw a post from him. He posted something on Instagram today where he actually talked about the adverse effects of microgravity on his body. So, as we know, astronauts kind of go through medical tests before their mission and after they return. And he has actually been studying those, or researchers have been studying the effects of the space mission that he went through and what impact it has had on his body. And he could definitely report that he had a lot of loss in bone density, in muscle atrophy. And to mitigate all these effects, they've been having him train on specific workouts. We're talking about, walking at certain speeds on the treadmill, cycling, different resistive exercise devices. So space has definitely had a toll on his body, and he's going to be meeting up with the rest of the space crew to kind of discuss those effects.
Yes, I mean, it does kind of remind me of high school reunions, You say, hey,
True.
You graduate from high school, you said, hey, we'll meet up in 10 to 15 years from now. But for us, I do believe, or for Major Hazza al-Mansouri, I do believe it's 2 years, and, the Expedition 61 team will be together once again at the World Trade Center right here in Dubai. And I'm looking forward to see, obviously they haven't seen each other for a while. I'm looking forward to see, the conference, what kind of topics they'll be talking about. Maybe, how space has weighed a big toll on their body. I want to see what each and every one has to say, or their experience with, after space flight. They did spend quite some time at the International Space Center. Or space station, and there's memories with people. Like, for example, imagine you and I don't know you who's listening, you don't know me, and we spend 2 weeks in an island, just me and you alone. We're gonna have memories together. We're gonna be become good friends, hopefully. And, we're going to, let's say, go our separate ways for 3 or 4 months. But once we see each other again, we have those 2 weeks of memories. We're talking about 24 hours a day together. And, these people have memories together. So I'm interested to see how they will be reminiscing with each other and what kind of conversations and topics they will be touching up upon.
Absolutely, especially because whenever we're talking about space missions, recently in the past few years, we've seen different countries kind of undergo very similar missions. The UAE, China, Russia, I believe, they've all been sending different probes to Mars to kind of explore the red planet, and a lot of them have actually been heading to the International Space Station, soon enough even to the moon. So let us know, what are you most excited about from all those different space missions? Personally, I'm excited to see the impact that space flights have had on the astronauts' bodies, whether it's Major Hazza al-Mansouri or any other astronaut, because as we plan to kind of live in a different planet one day, we need to see what impact that's going to be having on our earthly body. Coming up on Future Talk, we're still sticking with the outer space theme because we're going to be talking if one tech billionaire is an alien or not.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
We constantly talk about whether or not aliens are real, whether or not they actually exist, but never did I think we'd come on air to talk about whether a tech billionaire is an alien or not, because in the interesting life of Elon Musk, he has actually gone to Twitter to talk about whether he believes he's an alien or not. And to be more specific, he actually came out in a statement saying that he might just be an alien.
Yes, now a Twitter user with the account named Tesla Owners of Silicon Valley. Now, for those who don't know, Silicon Valley is in California, and it's kind of, like the golden road of, big tech companies. All
Exactly.
the big tech companies are in Silicon Valley. And this user did ask Tesla and SpaceX chief, who is Elon Musk, whether or not he's an alien. And Elon Musk did have a quite, witty answer. He did say, aliens do exist in physics and philosophy. Aliens could be among us. Some people think I'm an alien, but it's not true, he added. Obviously, he did, deny the claim that he was an alien or not. And then, the Twitter handle also did share a short video of Elon Musk from a conference in which someone had asked Musk about the existence of aliens and captioned it as Elon Musk, an alien. And Musk did reply with, of course. Now, we're obviously saying that this is not the first time that Musk has spoken about aliens. So does he know something that we do not know?
I must say, I do agree with his statement when he said aliens could be among us, and we shouldn't really be questioning it since they do exist in physics and philosophy. And just like we exist, there may be other creatures out there, who knows? But when we look at Elon Musk and his interesting life, he may just end up running, 4 plus 500 billion companies simultaneously at a very young age. And a lot of people feel like, if he's been doing that at such a young age and he's been making millions and billions, what makes us question whether or not he's an alien? Some people feel like maybe he really is. And also, once again, he replied to that statement by saying that, yes, I am an alien. He does also aim to send people to Mars by the year 2050, which a lot of people have actually been connecting it to the fact that he's an alien. So he wants to send them to his fellow family of aliens on other in other planets.
Yeah, I mean, regarding the, at a young age, he is like 53, 54. He does still have a long life in front of him. But again, the topic of aliens has always been, the kind of taboo thing, conspiracy theories left and right. I've watched, a couple of conspiracy theory documentaries or movies regarding space travel and aliens, and one of them was called The Awakening, and it is on Netflix for those who do or are interested in aliens. And I'm on the fence with aliens. I do believe, when I see a conspiracy theory, especially when it's related to aliens, I like to look Islamically. How does this exist? What is plausible? in Islam, right? You know, as a Muslim, obviously I'm going to be following the book and following, you know, what you know, scholars say regarding this issue. And, you know, no one actually denies it. They say, you know, it is a possibility. We don't know. And a couple of hadiths and verses in the Quran not claiming that there is, but, you know, they're saying things I cannot recall exactly word for word. I don't want to mess it up. It's an important topic.
But we can't,
right.
It's like they don't deny.
There's no denial towards it when scholars were asked that question. And, you know, one thing that did, you know, spark something in my brain when watching this documentary, and I will share it with you guys, is that aliens always surfaced when there was a big event happening. It was kind of like, you know, there's a conspiracy theory, or, you know, they call it the zoo theory, right? Imagine us humans in a zoo, right? Or the zoo is Earth. And the aliens are watching over us, but when we make a mistake or when we cause a problem, aliens will come over and watch above us. And how did that happen? Well, when Hiroshima, the atomic bomb, was dropped on Japan and Hiroshima, you know, there was alien activity around that area. And in the 1950s and 40s, that is when the phenomena of, you know, aliens started going up. In Las Vegas, Nevada, or not Las Vegas, in Nevada in general, where is, you know, Area 51, right? Over there, back in the day, before it was Area 51, it used to be a site for testing nuclear weapons. And, you know, imagine like a gorilla or something holding a gun. You're going to see what this gorilla can do with this said gun. How did he get a gun? How is he creating a gun, right? Same kind of concept with aliens. There was kind of, you know, extraterrestrial activity during that time. So, it might be plausible, might be not. I don't know, man. But
that's a very interesting theory.
Yeah, and, you know, I've read a lot about the subject. I'm on the fence with it, you know. Islamically, they don't deny it. The scholars don't deny it. Islamically, they never had said, no, they don't exist. They said it is plausible. Allahu al-alam, God knows best. God knows. So let us know your guys' thoughts. 4215, do us thoughts, or on our Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. Are you interested in aliens? Do you believe Elon Musk is an alien? And do you believe they exist or not?
It's interesting that, you know, one comment that Elon Musk did actually sparked an entire conversation on Twitter and other social media platforms. Everyone has been discussing the existence of aliens ever since Elon Musk said he is, although 99.999%.
Who knows?
He is not an alien. Coming up on Future Talk, we're talking about a very interesting phone that is going to be hitting the market in just a couple of months. One that may not have, you know, the latest connection to the internet, but that might just be exactly what we need.
Gadget of the day.
New tech you might want to play with.
New tech you might want to play with or switch your phone for. We're getting a blast from the past. Now, it does seem in this day and age, a lot of people want to disconnect from the internet. They want to disconnect from social media. 10 years ago, a lot of people wanted to get on social media and connect with people. But now we're talking about a minimalist phone that is designed to improve the mental well-being and how it will debut in November. Now, believe it or not, a lot of people have been suffering, you know, from mental problems because of social media, whether it's confidence, you know, actually a big part of it is confidence. They start to become unconfident of themselves because of the, you know, the fake scenarios created on social media. I don't want to get into that because
picture perfect life.
Yeah, picture perfect life. But today we're talking about a new device that will strip away the bells and whistles of modern smartphones to bear the essentials in November.
Now, to add to the point that you were talking about, Hani, not only is it giving people lack of confidence, but sometimes being overly connected gives them anxiety. The need to respond quickly to emails, to text messages, to WhatsApps. It gets to you over time. And that's exactly what a company named Mudita Pure decided to do. They created a phone that will allow you to dial calls, send texts, but you have no access to social media platforms. You have no access to sending emails or receiving them, or even taking photos. So what this phone is trying to encourage, it's encouraging all of us to stay offline, to look at our well-being, to look at our mental health, rather than to check what everyone needs from us or what everyone else is doing. And it's crazy because this was the only reality we knew of phones once upon a time before social media and the internet kind of became a part of our lives.
Yes, and in my personal opinion, I do believe it is better that way. You know, when we look at videos and photographs from 20 years ago. We're talking about the early 2000s. Yes, we had internet. Yes, we were connected in a way, but life was much simpler and easier. And, people with social gatherings, they were more connected with each other,
True.
The interpersonal relationship, the way people would talk to each other. I've been looking at a lot of videos of, high schools in 2004 and 2003, in the 90s and 80s. No one had their smartphone in their hand.
Yep.
They were talking, they were discussing, they were getting to know a lot of people. And, it does affect heavily and deeply how we communicate with one another. A lot of people have social anxiety now. They only know how to text. They don't know how to talk or communicate with a person. Now, technology obviously has its goods and cons, pros and cons. But nowadays, I do feel like the cons kind of outweigh the pros, especially with the younger generation. And, I'm on the fence with it. And this phone is here to kind of give a solution to the people who do suffer from, mental well-being. They have a bad mental well-being or mental health well-being. And the phone will cost around $369 or $332. That is if you pre-order it. So, we're talking about around the 1,000 dirham mark, which does sound reasonable. Even though if you're that, adamant on, disconnecting from the internet,
Just
you can
get a Nokia.
Get a Nokia for 150 dirhams. I have one in my house.
That would be a much easier and a cheaper way to do it. But, you nailed it, Hani, whenever you were talking about smartphones. They've actually become kind of like a burden for us to carry. It's something that you feel like you need to do all the time. You need to respond back to emails. You can't be offline. You can't afford to be offline, especially with remote working, because we're connected 24/7. So this phone is designed to help a lot of customers kind of reduce their pressure, the pressure of constantly being online, simply because you cannot. This phone will not allow you to do anything but pick up calls and answer back on text messages. Even the design of the phone is actually very minimalist. It only comes in two colors, black and white, has a monochrome screen, has very essential functionalities, and an eye-friendly e-ink display. So it kind of takes you back to the good old days of smartphones. It has a long life battery, which also reminds me of the invincible battery of the Nokia. A Nokia battery charge could last you easily up to a week, I feel like, back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, Nokias were, indestructive. You could do literally anything and anything you want them, and they would not say a word. Or, the Arabic saying, ma bi'ul akh. So, ladies and gentlemen.
It'll never complain.
It'll never complain. So, obviously this was being crowdfunded on the platform Kickstarter. And we do know that Kickstarter has been the platform for a lot of gadgets that are up and coming, but they don't have the essential resources or funds. And if you like the idea, you'll pay or contribute to the cause and, bring this minimalistic device to life. Now, I personally, sometimes I feel like I want to delete social media in general. I want to, leave it alone.
Or at least just for a couple of days, not exist anywhere, not get back to anyone.
A lot of people used to do social detoxing.
Yeah.
And, they wouldn't post or they wouldn't do anything or wouldn't use their phone for a good week and a half. A lot of people came back, said they were more productive, life in general. And I do, maybe I'll jump on it.
I would love to do that.
Maybe I'd jump on it, grab myself a Nokia, Express Music.
Can we include WhatsApp with that? Does it include WhatsApp?
Yeah, no, I don't want WhatsApp. I don't want anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, also social detox off of WhatsApp.
Yeah, let us know your guys' thoughts. 4215 Durat Salat or on our Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. Would you like a social detox? Would you like to jump off the internet?
Check this out. Check this out. Pulse 95.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know the saying, work hard, play harder. I've lived my life accordingly to that. But in China, the roles have been reversed, or there's no roles to begin with. There's one role and one role only. Work hard, because kids in China are now restricted to just 3 hours of online gaming per week. Now, listen, I'm kind of with, the decision of the Chinese government.
I have a question.
Yes.
How many hours were you allowed to play online as a kid?
Till my dad beat me up.
Which was?
It depends. I mean, if I was...
the amount of time you could run away.
If I was smart with it, I could do 14 hours.
Man, okay.
And lockdown's doing 17, so that's,
Lockdown, I mean, as a kid.
yeah, as a kid, I would do 17, 18. Depends if there's any events going on in the gaming world. But I mean, 3 hours is nothing, by the way. A normal game of let's say, for example, Fortnite, right? If you're winning, it could take up to 40 minutes. So you'll be in for a game in like a quarter. But I mean, I'm with the Chinese government in a way, and I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, why. Because in China, you know, they're very adamant and big on games. They like to game, right? Who doesn't like to game? And the best players in the world in any type of game are the Chinese players.
True.
Right? They spend a lot of time gaming, but at the same time, they do suffer from obesity in China. Obesity is a very big issue there. And, you know, China recently, they just upped, the 2-kid policy. I do believe you can have three... I think it was one kid, then two. Anyways, they have one extra kid on the way now for each family.
Okay.
But, you know, Chinese gaming platforms, you know, like our good friends Tencent and NetEase, must limit online gaming to minors just 3 hours per week. And that is following new rules imposed by regulators. And that was just yesterday. That announcement did come out. And the change is being made in response to growing concern over gaming addiction and a broader crackdown on China's tech giants. Now, Omnia, don't you feel like it's kind of weird how, you know, China strives with tech giants? Tech giants contribute big, and they're major contributors to the Chinese economy.
Absolutely. To go back to the policy, yep, you're right. On the 31st of May of this year, China actually upped the policy to a three-child policy.
3 children, yes.
Yeah. So imagine every child only gets 3 hours, and it's not a rule or a law that, you know, the Chinese government is giving to parents. It's
the regulators.
Yes, it's to the regulators, to the people behind the games. So every person will not be allowed to play more than 3 hours. So this is the new rule that's going to be implemented and imposed this week. And this change has actually been, you know, in the making, especially after the World Health Organization announced online gaming to become an addiction. And a lot of people have actually been worried about the impact of online gaming on these children. So I'm excited to see how this is going to be implemented.
It's going to backfire.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because, I mean, children under the age of 18 will now be restricted to 1 hour of gaming, just like we said.
Yep.
And it will be from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I don't know how the Chinese government didn't take into consideration that there will be an overload on servers, and there will be queue time, there will be waiting time.
True.
Now, for example, World of Warcraft, the game I play, or League of Legends, right? When there's an event going on, when there's a new expansion going on, and everyone in the whole entire world wants to play the game, game crashes, server problems, long queues to get into the game. So imagine a bunch of 12-year-old kids from 8 to 9 p.m. 3 days a week
on that system.
On that system, whether whatever game they're playing, they're gonna have a tough time. Their wait time will probably be 10 to 15 minutes. That leaves them with 45 minutes of gaming. So, you know, they won't have much fun, and we'll see how that goes. Obviously, the regulators will, you know, try to compensate with that in a way. Maybe, you know, the wait time won't be considered from game time. I don't know.
Maybe. Regulators said that they're also going to be working with parents and different schools in China so that they can help combat that gaming addiction that's been growing, not just, I feel like, amongst Chinese youth, but all around the world. I'm sure every parent right now tuning into us, they'll probably be nodding their heads, maybe even getting ideas about limiting the gaming time to 3 hours per week, because kids, I believe, in my opinion, they should be doing better things than spending hours online gaming. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like online gaming makes a child or even a grown-up more angry. There's so much pent-up anger. Every single time I see a kid playing online, they're always enraged.
Well, it depends on the personality, right? When I game, I get very angry, but I can say a passive-aggressive person in general.
But don't you feel like you get angrier when you're gaming?
When I was younger, yeah, I used to. But when I'm a man now, like I'm an adult, I can control my emotions, right? But I let my emotions fly when I'm gaming. But as soon as I end the game, I'm back to normal.
Okay.
Right? So, you know, when I was gaming, I used to have that problem too. You know, you get frustrated real quickly, obviously. But I mean, I have some friends that, you know, nothing would happen. You know, they'd lose a couple of games, like, you know, they're cold-blooded.
True. With kids, maybe they bring out that anger.
No control of the emotions.
True.
And in general, that's how, an effective gaming can have. But we've seen very positive effects of gaming, right?
True.
A lot of kids became more attentive. They pay attention real quick reactions, motivated them to start programming, etc. The list goes on. So, a lot of people are with or are against. Let us know your guys' thoughts, 4215, do it slot, or on our Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. Are you with gaming or are you against it? And if you're a parent, do you let your child play freely or used to be like me? They would get slapped in the back of the neck.
Check this out. Check this out. Pulse 95.
I don't know why immediately what popped in my mind is we're going on a trip on our favorite rocket ship.
Magic School Bus.
Yes.
You know what came to my mind?
What?
Michael Jackson.
Oh my God.
Moonwalking, ladies and gentlemen, because, if Michael Jackson was still alive, I would be making him jealous right now, because soon enough, you can spacewalk through virtual reality.
Yes, indeed. And most of us might just never be able to visit space, at least anytime soon. So if we can't experience what a spacewalk would feel like, might as well do that through virtual reality, because billionaires can afford to pay for a trip. We've seen Richard Branson, we've seen Elon Musk, we've seen so many tech giants taking trips to outer space. But right now, we can do that with immersive series, a series known as Space Explorers. And it's going to give you the International Space Station experience without you having to move outside your seat. So you'll get a chance to see what it's like to float in outer space. Hani's already trying that in real life without any virtual reality.
I've been moonwalking with my fingers.
And it's going to be very interesting to see different studios, different creators bringing that to life with a virtual reality camera attached to a robot that can capture 3D 360-degree scenes from outside the space station and bring it right to you right here on Earth.
Yes, now the studios is called Felix and Paul Studios. Now, their outer space camera is a customized version of the commercially available Z Camera V1 Pro. Now, it does have 9 4K sensors that can take 3D 360-degree images at 8K resolution. I ain't no cameraman, but this is big. Right?
This is clear.
This is clearer than my eyes. Have you ever saw a picture or a video and you're like, wow, my eyes can't do that? Now,
4K.
Yeah. Now, the camera has also been modified to withstand harsh conditions, including UV radiation, temperature extremes, and micrometeoroid impacts. So, man, this camera is like a Nokia V.2. Right? Now, the team did attach it to the Kanda Arm 2, which is a robotic arm, and it does move around the station's external structure. Now, it does look like this is a very, very well thought out and very expensive plan. And Omnia, there's going to be 5G enabled devices using it.
Yes, indeed. And it's actually going to be a first of its kind experience, because the producer behind this new experience is actually one of the members that was working with NASA. And he came out in a statement saying that capturing the Earth in 3D, in 360-degree format from outer space outside the space station has never been done until today. So it's very exciting and very surreal to see it happen, and to know that a project that once upon a time felt a far-fetched dream, it felt impossible to do, is now becoming a reality. And they only have been trying at it. They've only been working on it since 2015. So that's only 6 years. So
yeah, and they've excelled a lot. Let us know your guys' thoughts, 4215, door slots, or on our Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. Would you like to spacewalk? And do you know how to moonwalk? I've been trying since I was a kid. I fell on my back around 18 times. But ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude Future Talk for today. I hope you guys did enjoy, and let us know your favorite story of the day. Mine was obviously the moonwalking, or spacewalking, because I want to spacewalk.
Lots of space talk today.
A lot
Elon
of space
Musk
talk.
being
It's
an
not
alien.
Future Talk today. It's space talk. But yeah, I mean, we'll be here tomorrow, same time, same place, only on Pulse 95. And Omnia, what do you think about spacewalking?
I think spacewalking is quite cool, and I'd love to do it one day.
What do you think the sound of spacewalking sounds like?
sound of space? I think it's pretty silent.
Great answer, Omnia, because we have the sound by the 1975 coming up right next.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.